Hello everyone, my name is Aastha and you're watching Delhi Knowledge Track. I welcome you all to our final 20th class for International English Olympiad class 4th. Now today we will not be learning any new topic. Today we will be solving the sample question paper for IEO. There will be 35 questions, 30 of them will be 1 markers, 5 of them the achievers section, those will be 2 markers. We will solve each question within the prescribed time limit and you will award yourself marks. In the end, we will finally know how much you have actually learned. And suppose if you make a few mistakes, you should not feel scared or afraid, you should not feel disheartened. Rather, you should go back and revise the topic and solve the paper again. So, let's start today's sample paper.
Now, first of all, before starting, I would like to give you a few tips on how to manage your time during the exam. Now, if you remember these tips, then they would definitely help you somewhat in the exam. All right, let's start. The first important thing is to read the entire question paper carefully. Now in so many questions, like especially those of tenses and those of say antonyms or synonyms, now many questions, if you don't read them carefully, even the reading comprehensions, if you don't read them carefully, then it's very likely that you will answer them incorrectly. It's very important to read it very carefully. Alright. Then the second thing is to allocate enough time for each question as per their marks. Now, the HOTS questions. The HOTS questions, the last 5 questions of the Achievers section, they are very important because they carry double the marks. So it is important that you leave sufficient time for the Achievers section questions. And sometimes it is also preferable that you attempt those Achiever section questions first. क्योंकि अगर आप उन्हें पहले अटेम्प्ट कर लोगे तो आपका दिमाग उस टाइम फ्रेश है, राइट? तो आपने पहले वो 5 क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट कर लिए, सो यू आर क्लियर ऑन द फैक्ट दैट कि आपको चलो 5 जो डबल मार्क्स वाले क्वेश्चंस हैं वो सही हो गए. ऑलराइट, सो allocate enough time for each question as per their marks. Now, next, it is also important to leave sufficient time in the end to revise the paper. कि कहीं आपने कोई क्वेश्चन छोड़ तो नहीं दिया है, कहीं कोई क्वेश्चन स्किप तो नहीं हो गया है, या फिर कहीं बाय चांस सपोज यू सी आपने देखा कि हाँ इसका आंसर तो सी है पर आपने OMR शीट में उसका आंसर बी मार्क कर दिया. So for all these things it is very important to revise the paper in the end. All right. Alright, so the next point is, don't be afraid to guess. No negative marking. Now, as I have told you time and again that it is very important for you to attempt all the questions. Why? Because there is no negative marking. Suppose you don't know the exact correct answer to a question, but आप guess कर पा रहे हो कि शायद इसका ये होगा, तो it is very important कि आप उसे mark कर दो. जो भी आप guess कर पा रहे हो आप उसे mark कर दो, because there are chances कि वो सही हो सकता है. और अगर आप उसे छोड़ आओगे, अगर आप उसे skip कर दोगे तो कोई भी scope नहीं है ना आपको marks मिलने का. Right? So don't be afraid to guess. The next question, next point, you can always come back to some questions in the end. Which means अगर कोई question आपको difficult लग रहा है या आपको लग रहा है I need more time to figure this out, so you can always mark it and come back to it in the end. So you can keep a provision like this as well. Then, as I told you, if you finish early, revise the paper. And even if you don't, it is very important आप practice ही ऐसे करो कि आप paper time से पहले खत्म कर पाओ. That's why I've kept timers for you. कि आप टाइमर के हिसाब से आंसर करोगे तो डेफिनेटली यू विल बी एबल टू finish early and then revise the paper. And then it is very important to mark properly on the OMR sheet. अगर सपोज जैसे मैंने आपको अभी बताया, आपने देखा आंसर तो B है पर आपने गलती से C मार्क कर दिया तो आपका तो आंसर गलत हो गया ना. आपको पता है फिर भी आपने गलत मार्क कर दिया तो इसको मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू मार्क प्रॉपर्ली. और OMR शीट पे भी यूज दिस HB ब्लैक पेंसिल. उसमें ना बॉक्स को जो सर्कल है टू फिल इट कंप्लीटली प्रॉपर्ली. ऑलराइट, सो यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ दीज इंस्ट्रक्शंस. नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन. Now we are going to start with the final quiz. Alright, now brace yourselves, bring in your pen and paper, and we will be starting with our final quiz. Let's start. Now for every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute, 60 seconds you will be given as per the timer. Now why am I giving you 60 seconds? Because for every IEO question you are given more than 60 seconds in the final exam. तो मैंने सेफ साइड पे आपको 1 मिनट दिया है. अब इसमें दो कैटेगरी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स होंगे. वन कैटेगरी जो लेस देन 1 मिनट में अपने क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लेते हैं. तो जब ये कर लेते हैं तो यू शुड तो अगर आपने जल्दी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर लिया तो आप फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करके आप आंसर देख लीजिए. पर वो कैटेगरी जो स्टूडेंट्स ये 1 मिनट में आंसर नहीं दे पाते हैं तो आपको डिसहार्टन नहीं होना है, दुखी नहीं होना है. आप पॉज करें और पहले अपना आंसर दें. जो भी आंसर आपको लग रहा है सही है वो आप आंसर लिखें, उसके बाद ही आप आंसर देखें. ये यू शुड मेक श्योर कि आप कोई भी क्वेश्चन स्किप ना करें, आप सबके आंसर दें, चाहे वो सही हो या गलत, वो सेकेंडरी चीज है. मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट इज कि आप पहले आंसर दें. Okay, so and for every correct answer you give yourself 10 points and for every incorrect answer no points. Why no points? Because IEO में there is no negative marking. आपका आंसर चाहे गलत हो या फिर आपने आंसर नहीं किया हो तो आपको 0 ही मिलेगा. Okay, so it is better कि सपोज अगर आप किसी क्वेश्चन में कंफ्यूजन है कि इसका आंसर क्या होगा, नहीं समझ आ रहा, तो आपने उसे छोड़ना नहीं है, आपने उसको आंसर करना है. और चाहे आपको लग रहा हो कि ये शायद ये आंसर सही हो सकता है बी या सी से, तो आप उसे पक्का पॉइंट आउट करके आओ, मतलब उसे OMR शीट पे मार्क करके आओ, बिकॉज देयर आर चांसेस कि वो आपका आंसर सही हो जाए. ऑलराइट, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. Now the first category is the word and structure knowledge, जिसमें instructions क्या है हमारे कि each question in achiever section जो end में आएगा वो that will be of 2 marks each and all of the questions they carry 1 mark each. All right, let's start. Alright, so now we start off with the first category of questions, wherein what we have to do is, for questions 1 to 8, choose the correct option to fill in the blank. Example दिया है हमें जैसे, metal is dash than cotton, heavy, heavier, heaviest, more heavier. So here we choose the option B. So इस तरीके से you have to choose the correct option, and जो आपके पास OMR sheet होगी उसमें A, B, C, D जो भी option है उसमें you will fill suppose B. Heavier is the answer. Right? So let's start. Let's see the first question. This one says, the boy got the boy got dash his cycle and rode to school. Alright. So the options are, the boy got on his bicycle, B, the boy got up his bicycle, C, the boy got at his bicycle, or D, the boy got in his bicycle and rode to school. This is a question of prepositions, and here the correct answer is the boy got on his cycle, on his bicycle. वो अपनी bicycle की ऊपर बैठा and then he rode to school, right? Other ones we know that on हम जब किसी की surface की बात करते हैं, you know, he got on this surface, then we used that's when we use on. All right, let's move on to the next question. Alright, so the next question says, I eat dash apple every day for dash snack. Let's see the options. I eat the apple every day for the snack. B, I eat an apple every day for a snack. B, C, I eat the apple every day for a snack. D, I eat an apple every day for a snack. Now here, the correct answer is B. I eat an apple every day for a snack. Alright, an apple. An कब यूज होता है? जब हमें indefinite noun की बात कर रहे हैं, and it's starting with a vowel sound. So an apple starts with a vowel sound. So an apple every day for a snack. Snack, singular, countable noun, starts with a consonant sound. So I eat an apple every day for a snack. Alright. The options here, the next question says, the doors are shut, dash the wind blew them. The options are, the doors are shut because the wind blew them. B, the doors are shut so the wind blew them. C, the doors are shut but the wind blew them. D, the doors are shut however the wind blew them. Alright, so the correct answer here is because. Because कोई reason बता रहे हैं हम कि doors जो हैं वो क्यों shut हैं? Because the wind blew them. This is a question of conjunctions. Conjunctions. Doors are shut. Why? Because the wind blew them. Alright. And for the other ones, but जैसे है, it is used for any condition, however, some kind of a counter argument. Alright. Correct answer here is 3. Correct answer here is A, because. Alright. Here the next question. The school in the next town dash ever lost a match. And the options: A, the school in the next town can't, cannot ever lost a match. B, isn't, is not. The school in the next town is not ever lost a match. C, doesn't. The school in the next town does not ever lost a match. Or D, hasn't, has not. The school in the next town hasn't ever lost a match. Correct answer is D. The school in the next town hasn't ever lost a match. Right? Now here the next question says, it dash and sunny at the same time today. The options: it rained and sunny at the same time today. B, it is raining and sunny at the same time today. C, it rains and sunny at the same time today. D, it has rained and sunny at the same time today. So here the correct answer is B. Continuous, present continuous tense कि यहाँ अभी बारिश भी हो रहा है, आज ना क्या हो रहा है, बारिश भी हो रही है, and sunny as well. So it is raining and sunny at the same time today. Present अभी हो ही रहा है, same time, continuous की बात है. A, rained is for past. Rains is for simple present and has rained is again for past. The answer is B. It is raining and sunny at the same time today. Now the next question. When I was asleep, the mailman dashed my test results. The options are: while I was asleep, the mailman is delivering my test results. B. While I was asleep, the mailman delivers my test results. C. While I was asleep, the mailman delivered my test results. Or D. While I was asleep, the mailman have delivered my test results. So here the correct answer is C. While I was asleep, the mailman delivered. कि जब मैं सो रहा था तो mailman ने मेरा जो टेस्ट रिजल्ट्स थे वो डिलीवर कर दिए. So एक past action है जो complete हो चुका है. All right, correct answer is C. The rest of them is present continuous. B is simple present. Have delivered is again present perfect. Correct answer is C, delivered. Alright, so the next question says, there is dash bit of milk on the table that needs to be cleaned. The options are: A. There is a few bit of milk on the table that needs to be cleaned. B. There is some bit of milk on the table that needs to be cleaned. C. There is lots bit of table that needs to be cleaned. Or D. There is a little bit of milk on the table that needs to be cleaned. So here the correct answer is D. There is a little bit of milk on the table that needs to be cleaned. Alright. Now little ये हम quantity एक क्या कहते हैं? Milk is not really countable. इसमें हम एक quantity के हिसाब से बता रहे हैं. Right. So we use little for that. अगर number होता तो हम few use कर लेते. We should use some. So here, anyway, the correct answer is D, a little. Alright. Now here the next question says, goats have dash own distinctive smell. The options are, goats have her own distinctive smell. B, goats have our own distinctive smell. C, goats have their own distinctive smell. D, goats have my own distinctive smell. Here the possessive, here which one is the possessive pronoun to be used? Yeah, goats have their own distinctive smell. Alright, so their own. Goats are plural and third person, so goats have their own distinctive smell. Her is we use for female third person singular. Our we use for first person plural. My for first person singular. For both we use their. Alright, so now we have the next category of questions where what we have to do is, for questions 9 to 11, choose the part of the sentence that has an error. हमें बस आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि कौन से पार्ट में एरर है. ठीक है, लेट्स सी. The question says, the cat sat on the windowsill in the sunny shine and slept. Alright. Now, which is the incorrect portion here? The incorrect portion is sunny, shine and slept. Because here, what should it be? It should be sunshine. There is no such word as sunny shine, right? So the correct answer is D, sunshine. Alright, let's move on. Now the next sentence, bread is really easy to make badly if you use the wrong measurements. Okay, now here, which is the incorrect portion? The incorrect portion is this one. Bread is really easy to make badly. I don't know what they are really trying to say, but here you see this part, really easy. Here it should be to make. All right, this T with double O is a synonym of also. Now this really easy to make badly, really easy to make badly if you use the wrong measurements. So here the Correct answer is B, and the incorrect part is to make badly. Alright. Now the next question says, next sentence is, apples are never falling from trees in the winter in the north of the country. Alright, so here which is the incorrect portion? Here the incorrect portion is A. Apples are never falling from trees in the winter. So are never falling, this is incorrect. The correct formation would be apples never fall from trees in the winter in the north of the country. Alright, so A answer is correct and the incorrect portion is apples are never falling. Alright, so here, next category of questions, we have to choose the option with the correct spelling. Let's see. Choose the correct spelling of the word that means to prepare and use land for growing crops. Alright, now this is tricky. What we have to do? First, we have to identify the word that means to prepare and use land for growing crops. Here, then we will identify the word and then choose the correct spelling. Here the word is cultivate, and for cultivate the correct spelling is C. Alright, and for the rest of these, ticluvate and clatutive and valictite, all of these are not words at all. I mean, not the ones that I know of, so all of these are incorrect. The correct word is cultivate, and cultivate means to prepare and use land for growing crops. Right. Alright, so here choose the correct spelling of the vegetable. Now here we have to identify a vegetable that is given and accordingly choose its correct spelling. Here the correct answer is A, artichoke. Artichoke is a vegetable, and for the rest of these, artichoke, artichoke, none of these are correct. The correct answer is A, artichoke. Right? Alright, here choose the antonym of compulsory. Antonyms क्या होते थे? Opposite words. Right? Compulsory का opposite. Okay. Now here optional. Alright, optional is the correct answer. Optional is the antonym, मतलब opposite of compulsory. The rest of these, required is a synonym. Mandatory again a synonym. Forced is also a sort of synonym, you can say. Compulsory मतलब जो जरूरी है, जिसमें कोई कंडीशन नहीं है, जो इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो करना ही करना है. ऑप्शनल वो होता है जिसमें आपके पास एक ऑप्शन है, मतलब जिसमें आपके पास एक चॉइस है. Alright. So the correct answer is A, optional. Alright, so here, next question, choose the synonym of jumble. Jumble का synonym. Okay. A, tidiness, this is an antonym, मतलब opposite है. Jumble, harmony, मतलब खुशी, मतलब happiness. Order. Now, order again is an antonym, and mixture, jumble, this is a synonym, मतलब सब कुछ mixed up, सब कुछ jumbled up. Correct answer is D, mixture. Alright. Alright, so now we move on to the next category, which is reading. Now we will be having reading comprehensions. Let's start. Here, the first reading comprehension, I will explain it to you first, then we will move on to the questions. Traveling was always something Peter had wanted to do Traveling was always something Peter had wanted to do, and as he got older, he began to plan. He decided that he must leave his home in Asia to get a good sense of the world. So now here we have a character Peter, जिसको क्या traveling बहुत पसंद है. So traveling is something जो Peter ने हमेशा सोचा था कि मैं ये करूँगा. तो जब वो बड़ा होने लगा, as he got older, he began to plan. उसने अपनी planning शुरू कर दी. फिर क्या हुआ? He decided that he must leave his home in Asia to get a good sense of the world. तो उसने डिसाइड किया कि मैं एशिया में अपना घर छोड़ के I will try exploring the world, trying to get a good sense of the world. मतलब world explore करना शुरू करेगा. Then he thought that he should probably try and visit each continent. So he decided कि मैं सारे continent visit करूँगा. Then he sat down in front of his laptop and listed the continents: Oceania, Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica. Right. Now some of the continents he knew, but he was shocked to see that the closest continent he could visit was Africa. उसने सारे continents जो पता था उसने list किए, but उसको shock ये हुआ सोच के that the closest continent he could visit was Africa. Now he had thought it was a long way away, but उसने सोचा था कि अफ्रीका तो बहुत दूर है, और वो शॉक हो गया ये देख के कि सबसे पास तो मेरे अफ्रीका ही है. Then it looked like planning this would be fun. When he looked at different maps of the world, it turned out that there were different quantities and names of continents which confused him a lot. तो जब उसने काफी maps देखना शुरू करे, तो उसने देखा there were different quantities, different names of the continents which confused him. So before he continued, he asked his father's advice about how many continents there were. उसने अपने father से पूछा कि कितने continents हैं. And the father told him that for them in their schools they were taught that there were 7 continents. And although some other countries taught that there were 6 or 5, other countries कुछ पढ़ा रही थी तो 6 continents हैं, कोई कह रहे थे 5 continents हैं, उसके father ने कहा 7 continents हैं. But then he said, and although some countries taught that there were 6 or 5, and that he should stick to what he understood for this project of his. Now, for the purpose of his travel, Peter decided that he would use the system he knew. उसने decide किया जो system मुझे आता है ना मैं वही use करूँगा. And this meant he would have to visit 6 more continents. So accordingly, उसकी system के हिसाब से उसे 6 और continents visit करने होंगे. So he looked at the maps of the world and decided that he would go and visit his uncle in Africa, then his sister and her family in Europe really easily. तो उसने plan कर लिया कि उसके uncle अफ्रीका में रहते हैं, मैं उन्हें visit करेगा, and then his sister and her family in Europe, उन्हें visit करेगा. Then he took this idea to his father, who agreed with him, although he thought it would be simpler to go east to Oceania. Now, although his father thought कि easier क्या रहेगा कि पहले east में Oceania चले जाए, but he still agreed with Peter कि चलो ठीक है, his idea is also fine. But then Peter knew that this was just because Oceania was where his father had always wanted to go because his brother lived there. Now, Peter could figure out that because his brother lived there, that's why his father wanted him to go to Oceania. That's it. This is a simple extract from the passage. Now let's move on to the questions. Now, which continent was closer to where Peter lived? A. Europe, B. Asia, C. Africa, D. South America. Now, where did we find that? हमने कहाँ देखा था कि पीटर को पता चलता है कि कौन सा अफ्रीका? Here. He was shocked to see that the closest continent he could visit was Africa. So here, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is C. Africa. All right. What problem did Peter have? A. Computer was not working properly. B. The number of continents. C. The advice from his father. D. Distance he had to travel. Now here let's see. When he looked at different maps of the world, it turned out that there were different quantities and names of continents which confused him a lot. So, what was his problem? That there were different quantities and names of continent. So, what was the problem? B. The number of continents. That was the problem. Alright. Now next question says, what does Peter's father think it is best to do? Now he should A. stick with what he knows, B. change his whole plan, C. get different information, or D. update his knowledge. Now here, what did Peter's father suggest? Here. And although some other countries taught that there were 6 or 5 and that he should stick to what he understood for this project of his. So Peter's father suggested that it is best to stick with what he knows, right? Whatever he knows, he should stick with that. That was the advice given by Peter's father. The next question, who did Peter want to visit second? His brother, B uncle, C father, D sister. Now let's see. Now he looked at the maps of the world and decided he could go and visit his uncle in Africa, and then whom? Then his sister and her family in Europe really easily. So whom did he decide to visit second? D, his sister. Easy questions, right? Alright, so the next question. Peter's father thought it would be dash to visit somewhere other than Africa. A. Peter's father thought it would be easier to visit somewhere other than Africa. B. Peter's father thought it would be more fun to visit somewhere other than Africa. C. Peter's father thought it would be quicker to visit somewhere other than Africa. Or D. Peter's father thought it would be more difficult to visit somewhere other than Africa. Let's see. Now he took this idea to his father, who agreed with him, although he thought it would be simpler to go east to Oceania. So what did he think about? He thought it would be easier to visit somewhere other than Africa. The correct answer is A. Easier. Alright, so here we have the next category of questions and we have the next reading comprehension. Let's start reading this. Here it says, Fiona. Fiona walked across the kitchen to the far end where she saw a door leading to the backyard of the house. When she tried to open the door to the back, she struggled because it was locked. Now here we have a character Fiona. Now she walks across the kitchen to the far end and उसने देखा एक डोर है जो बैकयार्ड की तरफ जा रहा है. अब उसने जो डोर है उसको खोलने की कोशिश करी, but she struggled. उसे मुश्किल हुई because it was locked. वो डोर जो था वो locked था. Then she thought this was strange because it had never been locked and she had no idea where the key was. Now she was surprised and she thought this is strange. इसको थोड़ा सा अजीब लगा क्योंकि ये जो डोर था ये कभी लॉक नहीं था एंड उसको कोई आइडिया, इसको पता भी नहीं था कि जो की है की कहाँ है. So फिर क्या हुआ? There was music playing in the background and she noticed that it was her father's favorite song by a cowboy or something. It wasn't a tune that she particularly favored. क्या हुआ कि ये डोर लॉक था and this door has never been locked before. उसे कीज भी नहीं पता. और तब क्या होता है अचानक से that there was this music playing in the backyard. एक म्यूजिक स्टार्ट होता है बैकग्राउंड में और वो नोटिस करती है कि ये तो उसके फादर का फेवरेट सॉन्ग था and it was based on some cowboy or something, she doesn't remember, and it wasn't a tune that she particularly favored. मतलब उसको कुछ ये ट्यून ना कुछ खास पसंद नहीं थी, उसको कुछ she did not favor this song. Then what happens the next paragraph? She chose to go and find her mother, who she thought might be at the front of the house on the veranda with her uncle and auntie. It turned out that her mother was with them and then she had left the key on the table in the kitchen. Fiona went back and checked but couldn't find it. She looked around and eventually found it on the sideboard next to the fruit bowl. तब क्या हुआ कि फियोना जो है she decides कि अब मैं अपनी mom को जाके देखती हूँ and she thought that वो probably आगे veranda में ना she must be with her uncle and auntie and she was there only it turned out that her mother was with them and उनसे पूछा तो उन्होंने बताया that she had left the key on the table in the kitchen table पर ही थी keys but Fiona went back and checked पर उसे मिली ही नहीं so she looked around and eventually she found it where on the sideboard next to the fruit bowl. Alright. Then, when Fiona eventually got outside into the back garden, it had started to rain lightly and it made the garden look like a movie set. She set up her table and got her tea and book and sat down to relax. तो क्या हुआ कि फियोना इवेंचुअली जब वो बाहर जा पाई बैक गार्डन उसने की से गेट खोला स्टार्टेड टू रेन हल्की हल्की बारिश होने लगी एंड जो गार्डन था एकदम मूवी सेट की तरह लगता देन शी मेड अप अ टेबल उसने अपनी टेबल बनाई अपनी शी गॉट अ टी अ बुक ऑन आराम से रिलैक्स करने के लिए बैठ गई बट as she did she heard a loud banging noise coming from over the wall. This was not good and it was really vexing her and ruining her quiet time. But अचानक से एक loud banging noise आती है and उसको बड़ा परेशान होने लगी वो and उसका जो आराम relax करने का time था वो खराब होने लग गया. So Fiona decided to text her neighbor who was in the same year as her at school. She asked what all the noise was about and how long it would last. There was no reply to her again, so she packed up and went inside again. So क्या हुआ कि Fiona ने decide किया कि अब मैं अपने neighbor को text करती हूँ जो he was in the same who he or she must be in the same class as her. तो उसने text किया कि noise क्यों हो रही है कब तक चलेगी पर कोई reply ही नहीं आया उसके text का तो उसने जो अपना टेबल थी बुक थी उसने पैक किया and then she went inside again. Alright, this was a simple passage about Fiona. Now let's move on to their questions. Okay, so where did Fiona want to go? A, the back garden, B, the veranda, C, the kitchen, D, the museum. Pretty easy. Fiona walked across the kitchen to the far end where she saw a door leading to the backyard. She tried to open the door. Now, जो door खोलने की कोशिश कर रही थी वो कहाँ जा रहा था? Backyard, the back garden. और उसी door को खोलना चाह रही थी वो. So she wanted to go to the back garden. Kitchen से door जा रहा था back garden में, which she wanted to open. All right. Now, what does Fiona think about her dad's favorite song? A. Hadn't really noticed it. B. She didn't like it much. C. She wanted to get away from it. Or D. She loved it. Now here we have, now there was a music playing in the background and she noticed that it was her father's favorite song about a cowboy or something. It wasn't a tune that she particularly favored. मतलब उसको ये ट्यून कुछ ज़्यादा खास पसंद नहीं थी. So the answer is B. She didn't like it much. Right? Alright, so the next question says, where did her mother leave the key? A. With her uncle. B. On the table. C. Next to the fruit bowl. Or D. On the door, in the door. Now here, let's see. Now, yeah, it turned out that her mother was with them and that she had left the key on the table in the kitchen. But after that, what happened? Fiona went back and checked but couldn't find it. She looked around and eventually found it on the sideboard next to the fruit bowl. तो her mother must have forgotten कि वो कहाँ रख के गई हैं. तो actual में कहाँ मिली थी? C, next to the fruit bowl. अगर आपने passage ध्यान से नहीं पढ़ा है तो you might choose the option B, but that will be incorrect. Because according to the mother, she had left it on the table. और जब फियोना ने ढूंढा तो उसे पता चला, देखा कि कहाँ पे है? Sideboard next to the fruit bowl. Alright, so the answer is C. Next question. Fiona's relaxation was ruined by her dash making a noise. Options: A. Neighbors. B. Mothers making a noise. C. Family making a noise. Or D. Book making a noise. Now this is pretty funny because a book can't really be making a noise, right? Well, let's see. Now here. As she did, she heard a loud banging noise coming from over the wall. So, and then she eventually also texted her neighbor. So the answer is A. Neighbors. It was the neighbors who were making the noise. Not her mother, not her family, and a book can't really be making a noise. Alright. So what is the meaning of the word vexing in the third paragraph? Where do you get vexing? Here. It was really vexing her, which means उसे बहुत, yeah, sentence पढ़े तो, this was not good and it was really vexing her and ruining her quiet time. A. Entertaining. B. Slowing. C. Watching. D. Disturbing. The answer is D. Disturbing. ये जो आवाज है उसे बहुत परेशान कर रही थी, उसे बहुत disturb कर रही थी. Alright. Let's move on. Now we will move on to the next category, which is spoken and written expression. Let's start. Alright, so the next category of questions, what do we have to do? For questions 26 to 30, choose the correct option to complete each conversation. For example, Ted asks, where is the park? Joey says, I think it's dash the left. It is on the left. Alright. Similarly, let's see. Fred, I can't get dash this book at all. Jan says, yeah, I never got past page 8. Let's see the options. A. I can't get onto this book at all. B. I can't get onto this book at all. C. I can't get up to this book at all. Or D. I can't get into this book at all. Here, the correct answer is D. I can't get into this book at all. Which means कि मेरे को इस बुक में जो है ना बिल्कुल भी इंटरेस्ट नहीं आ रहा. I can't really get into this book. So and similarly Jan also replies, yeah, I never got past page 8. मतलब मैं भी 10th page के आगे नहीं पढ़ पाया. This book is not really interesting. Right. Correct answer is D. Into. Alright, so the next question says, Chair says, I went running yesterday. Then Rub replies, dash it raining all day? A, hasn't it raining all day? B, wasn't it raining all day? C, doesn't it raining all day? Or D, isn't it raining all day? Here the correct answer is B. Wasn't it raining all day? Alright, now wasn't it raining all day? This is which tense? This is past continuous कि क्या कल बारिश नहीं हो रही थी पूरे दिन. Similarly, care whatever he says, I went running. This is also past continuous. Right, एक action जो past में हो ही रहा था. So similar question कि क्या मतलब कल बारिश नहीं हो रही थी. So एक continuous action. Alright, that's why we use B. Wasn't it raining all day? Now the next question, Dave says, thanks for the invite, John. John replies, no problem, it's a pity you dash make it. A, it's a pity you shouldn't make it. B, it's a pity you can't make it. C, it's a pity you won't make it. D, it's a pity you haven't make it. So, what is the correct answer here? Now here the correct answer is B. It's a pity that you can't make it. Alright. Now here Dave says to John that thanks for inviting me to probably this party that who's having, that John is having. But then John says, no problem, it's a pity कि बहुत गलत बात है, बहुत दुख की बात है that you are not able to come, so you can't make it. Alright, that you are unable to make it. So that's why we use B. Shouldn't हम use करते हैं for something that that should not be done, in the sense that for a good habit, for some values. Won't मतलब जब अपनी choice से that तुम आओगे नहीं. Can't हम इसलिए use कर रहे हैं कि although वो आना चाहता है पर वो आ नहीं पा रहा है, so you can't make it. And then haven't, which means haven't जो है यहाँ पे आएगा ही नहीं, क्योंकि haven't make it नहीं होता. अगर haven't आता, it's a pity you haven't made it. ये तब होता जब हम past की बात कर रहे होते कि बहुत गलत बात है कि तुम आ नहीं पाए. So you haven't made it. तब होता haven't. Alright. Right now it's can't. B, it's no problem. It's a pity you can't make it. Alright. Okay, so the next question, Esther says, Hi, how are things coming dash with your studies? Now, Anne says, great, thanks, I feel I'm learning a lot. Here, the options are A. How are things coming along with your studies? B. How are things coming down with your studies? C. How are things coming next with your studies? D. How are things coming to with your studies? Here, the correct answer is A. कि तुम्हारी पढ़ाई के साथ चीजें कैसी चल रही हैं. So how are things coming along with your studies? In these situations we use along. Alright. Down मतलब नीचे जाना, next मतलब अगली बात, and to is a preposition which we use in various cases. जिसमें जैसे पे suppose हमें कोई movement बतानी होती है या फिर कोई action बताना होता है. That's when we use to. Here, when we're talking about studies, how are things coming along with your studies? So we use along. All right. Okay, next question says, teacher says, can you pick up those books over there, please? Alex, dash, where should I put them? A, out there, where should I put them? B, oh go, where should I put them? C, on top, where should I put them? D, of course, where should I put them? And here, the correct answer is of course. Of course, something that we use that, why not? Okay, when teacher says, can you pick up those books over there? Alex nods in agreement. He's agreeing and saying, why not? Why will I not put them up? So of course I can do it. And where should I put them? All right, that's when we use of course. That's it. Let's move on to the next question. Now here is the achievers section. These carry double the marks. 2 into 5 question. We will be having HOTS questions in here. High order thinking skills. Let's start. We have to fill in the blank here. For questions 31 to 33, choose the correct option to fill in the blank. Now, the question says, this chair dash in Sweden and I got it last year. This chair was made in Sweden. This chair is making in Sweden. C, this chair made in Sweden. Or D, this chair make in Sweden. here the correct answer is A. This chair was made in Sweden. Right, we're talking about something that happened in the past, so it was made. All right, and I got it last year. Is making is present continuous. Made is past tense and make is simple present. All right, let's move on to the next question. All right, the next question. Dreams dash a large part of how we understand the world. Dreams A. Strip down a large part of how we understand the world. B. Dreams take away a large part of how we understand the world. C. Dreams make up a large part of how we understand the world. Or D. Dreams skip over a large part of how we understand the world. Here the correct answer is C. Now dreams are something which actually influences a lot and they help us, and they make up a large part of how we really understand the world, how we perceive the world, how we take each other's behavior, how we look at different things, how our attitude is. So dreams, they make up a large part of the world. And for the other, strip down matlab obviously कम करना, खत्म करना, take away भी लेना, किसी चीज कुछ चीज ले लेना, taking it away. Skip over, again कुछ चीज skip कर देना. So here the correct answer is C, make up. All right, let's move on. Okay, here it says, I like playing football with these guys, dash you. A, can you? B, do you? C, are you? D, have you? Here the correct answer is B. I like playing football with these guys, do you? This was pretty easy, right? Now कि मेरे को तो फुटबॉल पसंद है इन लोगों के साथ खेलना, तुम्हें भी पसंद है क्या? For that you ask do. For an action, do you as well. Can tells us ability, are tells us a state of being, and have tells us about possession. Alright, so the correct answer here is do. किसी action के लिए हम do use करते हैं. Alright, Alright, so here we have to choose the antonym of enhance. Enhance मतलब जैसे यहाँ पे augment जो है enhance का synonym है, intensify भी synonym है, redesign भी synonym है, diminish जो है this is an antonym. Opposite diminish. Enhance मतलब किसी चीज की ब्यूटी में ऐड करना, किसी चीज को इम्प्रूव करना, उसको बेटर करना. जैसे यहाँ पे दे रखा है उसे ऑगमेंट करना, उसे इंटेंसिफाई करना, उसे रीडिजाइन करना, उसे और अच्छा बनाना. ऑलराइट, वही उसका ऑपोजिट हो जाता है डिमिनिश मतलब किसी चीज को कम करना, रिमूविंग इट और लेसनिंग इट्स इम्पोर्टेंस और इट्स ब्यूटी, एनीथिंग. ऑलराइट, सो द आंसर इज डी, डिमिनिश. Here we are on the last question. This one says choose the correct option to complete the conversation. Dwayne says, don't worry about the game, just dash your chin up and carry on. Alfie says, yeah, I've got to relax a bit. Alright, here the options are A. Keep. Don't worry about the game, just keep your chin up and carry on. B. Just get your chin up and carry on. C. Just do your chin up and carry on. Or D. Just have your chin up and carry on. Now this is, here the correct answer is A. Just keep your chin up. Now this is a phrase we use when we tell somebody, to keep their spirits high. To keep your spirits high and carry on. So that's why that's when we say keep your chin up and carry on. This is a phrase we use. Alright, with this we finish off with our sample IEO questions.
So that's all for the sample paper. I hope you have understood the actual pattern and the syllabus of the exam. I also hope that you have scored well, and if you have not, you should go back and brush up on the topics which were weak and you could not score well in them. So that's all for the IEO preparation from my side. I hope you will revise all the concepts and you will use them in your communication skills, in your writing skills as well. So keep on revising and all the best for your exam. Thank you.